this is a great honor for every fan of the Dallas Cowboys. I'm honored to be in the NFL.
What can I say? Mamba out.
All right, what's happening, everybody? Excuse me. Welcome to the afternoon show presented by ESEN. I'm Chris Gonzalez, joined by Jay McLovin and Tony Gonzalez. How's it going, guys?
Doing good, going good.
We're doing good, man. It's hot as hell out here. Still hot as hell. Got a little rain cloud. Came by, waved at me, gave me the middle finger, and kept on moving. No big deal.
It's supposed to cool down here. I think starting tomorrow, be in the 70s.
That'd be nice.
Yep. Well, guys, let's get right into with a little bit of Major League Baseball. First game I'm going to talk about is the Milwaukee and the Cubs, Milwaukee Brewers. I tell you what, man, I see why Milwaukee Brewers are what they are. I watched a lot of that game yesterday, and they beat the Cubs, I believe it was 7-0. But what was crazy, they scored in one inning like 5 runs and only had only one hit leave the infield. And what I mean by that, they just put the ball in play. I mean, and they didn't give up double plays. They got a couple walks, and then they just sacrificed people in. They're just doing everything right now, and they just destroyed the Cubs yesterday. Supposed to play a doubleheader against the Cubs today. Some people are saying they should try to play 3 games a day because they don't think they're going to get the other games because of rain in Wednesday and Thursday. So,
could you imagine a triple hitter?
Oh. Yeah, I don't think they could do it. I think it'd be too much. But Milwaukee's very impressive right now. The Reds got a big win for them yesterday. With the Mets being off, it puts the Reds back one game of the wild card. Jay, what happened to Houston Astros? They got destroyed yesterday. 12-0. And then the Padres lost to the Giants 5-. I think it's 4-3 or 5-4. The Dodgers lost to Colorado 5-4. So I think the Giants game is 4-3. Dodgers was 5-4, I believe. But guys, what you guys take? Chris, let's go to you first on the Reds. I watched quite a bit of that game. Reds look pretty good. I tell you what, man, that third baseman that they got is just outstanding. How many? He's going to be a Golden Glover, and how many games he's helped them win already with his defense.
Oh yeah, he's really solidified our defense, especially at third. Like he's already made in the 2.5 weeks, 2-3 weeks. He's 2.5, 3 weeks. He's been on the team. He's already made at least 6 or 7 like game-winning plays that the other guys that we were playing at third base wouldn't have made. And Brian Hayes he's been coming up with some big hits in key moments as well. Like he got a big home run the other night. Hell, he's hit more home runs with the Reds than he had all season with the Pirates. He'd only hit like 2 all season with the Pirates. He's already, I think, hit 3 for the Reds in the first few weeks that he's been with us. But no, Reds played a good game yesterday. Ended up with 11 hits. Had three leadoff triples last night. And anytime you can lead off an inning with a triple, I mean, they cashed in on 2 of those. They did have that one inning where they didn't score any runs, and they had that leadoff triple. You can't be doing that a lot, but you got it 3 times, and you were times. So at least you was able to get that. But everybody was hitting the ball. We had 3 players with at least 2 hits, and then everybody in our starting lineup had at least 1 hit, but Matt McLain. But he had a sacrifice fly for an RBI. So like everybody on our team last night contributed offensively. And I'll tell you what else is encouraging. Well, seeing the Brewers play the Cubs. Because the Brewers smashed the Cubs. The series before that, the Brewers were smashing everybody. Yeah, they beat us in that series. They didn't smash us. We went to extra innings, 2 games with them, and we should have won it very easily. Could have swept the Brewers. So, I mean, that really shows me what kind of baseball the Reds are playing right now as well, because if you look at it, we're the only team that has really competed with the Brewers here in the last few weeks. They've been really smashing teams.
Yeah, about the last 3 weeks. That's true.
Reds played a solid game last night. No errors on defense. Brady Singer with another solid start, went 6 innings, only gave up 1 run. And here's what showed how good our defense was last night. Brady Singer only had 2 strikeouts last night in that game, and only gave up one run. And they had I think 6 hits. Our defense was solid. Our defense was solid last night. How it's been most of this season, other than third base, but of course we had Ellie every once in a while just can't throw a ball. That bit his ass against the Brewers. But it goes back to what you were saying about the Brewers. They force you to make plays, and 2 of our big errors was trying to turn double plays on them, and with their speed, it speeds you up. And I mean, you put the ball in play. The team can't make mistakes if you don't put the ball in play. You put the ball in play, you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, I was really impressed with them against the Cubs last night or yesterday. In that game 1, they're supposed to play a doubleheader, but it got rained and rained out.
The only thing that sucks about the game last night was it not starting until almost 10 o'clock Eastern time. That's the only thing that sucked about that. And it's the same thing tonight. They don't start till like 20 till 10. So you know you're watching baseball until about 12:40. At least.
That's true.
At least 12:15.
Jay, what's going on with these Houston Astros? They've got creamed the last couple of games. What's going on?
Like I told you earlier, man, it's a starting pitching that we have right now. Eric Getty, I think this is his 3rd pitching start since he came off rehab, and every one of them he has just pooped the bed, and this one is no different. He lasted 5 innings, went with 90 pitches, 56 for strikes. So half of his damn things were balls. But really, he gave up 7 hits, 5 runs, 4 walks, 5 strikeouts. I mean, it's really hard to win when you're giving up 5 runs, all the and then Tanner Scott, he didn't help out. He didn't help out nothing either. He came in, gave you 1.2 innings, and he gave up 5 hits and 5 runs and 2 walks on 42. So the sad part about it is the only 2 pitchers that didn't give up a run was King. He only faced 1 batter, got him out via strikeout. And then Chas McCormick. Oh, so let me say it again. Chas McCormick, the guy that we brought in, who's normally our outfielder, but basically at this point we were doing scrub innings, right? They're trying to save their bullpen. So they bring in Chas McCormick, who typically plays left field, to pitch the 9th inning, and he gives you a strikeout, 1 hit, a strikeout on 19 pitches. No runs allowed. Now, how the hell can a left fielder pitch better than a guy who's relief? What the heck? I'm just trying to tell you. We had 5 hits, no runs, and we gave up 13 hits at 10. I mean, it just tells you everything you need to know. The pitching was terrible. I don't even know how many home runs we gave up. I'm sure I think it was like 3 or 4 home runs. But I didn't catch that. But I know we gave up quite a few home runs. It's just pitching, man. I can't stress it enough. Right now we got Javier, who just came back. He had 1 start that he did well, and he got a win. So good. Javier looks like he's coming. He did miss, or he is day-to-day right now battling an illness, but I think he's going to be okay to make Saturday's start. So I think we're going to be okay there. I need Garcia back in the worst kind of way, and I need Eric Getty put probably back into the minors or designated for assignment or something, because this dude just don't look right. I don't know if he's still battling some of whatever his issue was, but he don't look right. And I think a lot of people know he don't look right. And so Eric Getty needs to be able to apply back to the minors or on rehab or do something other than keeping him in the starting rotation at this point. I think I've seen it after the last 3 outings that he made, and every one of them he has been giving up 5 or 6 runs on. Nah, I'm done with this dude. He's garbage. Straight garbage. And it was so bad, Tony. I got the man's autograph in my little notebook of baseball autographs. It's in a nice little sleeve. Tony, I burned it in the burn pit last night. Straight burned. Burned. That autograph will never see the light of day. It is burned. That's how mad I was the other night.
Sounded like Jonathan Mathis a little bit there.
I don't compare myself in any way, shape, or form
Yeah.
to Jonathan Mathis. I'm pretty much sure that Eric Getty deserved to have that autograph burned. And we didn't even pay him $1 billion. So I don't know, but it was just garbage. He was just straight garbage. And the thing about it was, or I guess I should say, our only saving grace is the fact that Seattle pooped the bed almost as not as bad, but almost. I think they lost 12-5 last night to the Phillies. But in all honesty, if it wasn't for Seattle playing just as bad as we are right now, we would be buried. I mean, if we were in your, I guarantee you, Gonzo, if I was in your division right now, I would venture to say if I was in the Phillies division that we would probably be in third place. I don't even know where we are, but I'm pretty sure we'd probably be in third place nationally right now. That's how bad we're playing.
Yeah,
I mean, it's just ridiculous.
One thing I did want to add on about the Reds real quick, Dad, was another thing that was big about last night's game was we didn't have to use Santillan or Emilio Pagan. Didn't have to use, because both of them have pitched quite a bit here lately, especially the closer Pagan. Well, Santillan too, he gets used more than anybody. But being able, our other bullpen guy stepping up, got big inning out. Connor Phillips, a young guy that don't pitch much, and then May, who has struggled his last couple times out, came up with a big inning, and Barlow with 4 big outs. So that was good to be able to get them guys a rest as well. And then I tell you what, if you start looking at it, it looks like the Reds might just be starting to play their best baseball at the right time of the year.
I agree.
We're playing some of our better baseball right now. And hopefully, we're starting to maybe peak at the right time of the year, which would be great going into October.
Hey, Coach, just a little quick recap on that. So all those damn runs came majority off of home runs. They had 4 home runs, a triple, and a sac fly. That's what got them all in to score. I mean, it's just pitching, Tony. Last night was pitching. Tonight, we should have a better game. It won't be. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. We have Hunter Brown going up against Skubal. But for them to get a win tonight is going to be really, really hard. So I don't know, man. I think we're probably the underdogs in this one, honestly. But yeah, it is what it is. I did want to say though, real quick, I did want to kind of touch on Bogaerts over there with the Padres. I'm pretty sure you got that on your list.
Real quick too, the Reds started a 9-game road trip last night, so that's also a big win. That was also a big win to start your road trip off nice. We play the Angels, and we play the Diamondbacks, and then we play the Dodgers.
Yep,
all on the road.
Big series. Jay, Houston's playing Detroit, right?
Yeah, I got 2. We got last night was the first game of that series, so we got 2 more against Detroit, and then I'm not really sure where we go after that.
Well, you guys are hitting Detroit at the wrong time. They've won, I think, 5 or 6 in a row. They're starting to play good again. Detroit is.
Yeah, they're definitely heating up.
Before we move on, I have a question for both you guys, real quick.
Okay.
When you
Go ahead.
How do you rather consume a baseball game? Do you like watching it on TV better or listening to it on the radio? Because the reason I asked this question, because last night I was home, but I listened to the whole game on the radio. I never came in the house and turned on the TV. Me myself, I almost, if I'm not like at the game live, I almost rather listen to it on the radio than watch it on TV. I was just wondering, like, what do you guys prefer?
Me, probably the radio, but that's because of what I grew up on. Because me and my dad always listened to the Reds games, even though he was a Giants fan, but couldn't get the Giants games, of course. But you got the Reds games, and we didn't get Reds games on TV. We was lucky to get 10 Reds games on TV back in the day. So my dad was a big WLW fan, 50,000 watt AM station. So he listened to it all the time, and like I said, he listened to the Reds. He listened to the Reds every game, just about. So yeah, and when we worked at the factory, we weren't allowed to listen to radio unless there was a day baseball game or a sporting event. They would let us break out the radios. So yeah, the radio was pretty big for me.
Yeah, they're both different experiences. I think if you want to really get a more detailed version of what's going on, I'd probably listen to the radio. And I think a lot of times you listen to the radio, you're more apt to tune in and pay attention. I think a lot of times when it's on TV, Gonzo, I think we get distracted and we kind of catch little bits here and there. We're not really fully focusing because you got the visual and the audio. But so, yeah. And then too, it depends on who's broadcast at the baseball game. If I got to listen to some foreign dude or they're like the away team's broadcasters, yeah, I'll turn on the radio real quick.
Well,
I want to hear my podcasters.
Another thing I do a lot, if I do watch the game, when I am watching the game on TV, is a lot of times I'll have the TV muted, and I'll listen. I'll be listening to it on the radio.
That might be a good idea
as I'm watching it because the Reds radio guys are awesome. They've been there for a long time. I love listening to them call games. I listen to it on the same station Dad was talking about usually.
Right. I mean, like if Milo Hamilton, which I don't think is still with their Astros anymore, I used to love listening to Milo Hamilton. Now he did call the games on the radio. I mean, on the TV, and I love Milo Hamilton. I love the way he does. I like the way he, it's just he's gone now, but he used to be an amazing one. Second one was I like listening to Larry Durker. He was a former Astros pitcher. I like listening to him. And in terms of basketball, I miss the days of Calvin Murphy and Bill Worrell. Them dudes could call a basketball game. I mean, it was good. Like they had real good chemistry. Everything was beautiful. But this is a long time ago. This is back in the 90s. Nowadays, I think I probably would do like what you do, Gonzo. I think I just watch. I'm going to start doing that. I'm going to watch it on TV, but listen to it on the radio. Because I do think I don't like to listen on the TV, honestly.
Because like last night, I listened to the whole game, but I just was sitting out in the garage listening to it on the radio. I never came in the house and never turned it on the TV. And I was enjoying just sitting there listening to it. I think some of it is what Dad said, because up to maybe 7, 8, 9 years ago, we didn't get very many. You couldn't get very many. Oh no, maybe 10 years ago, but you didn't get very many Reds games. So if you wanted to keep track of the Reds, you had to listen to it on the radio because we only maybe got like 30 games a year on TV. And then it got to where we got almost every game, and I started watching a lot more of them. But I got used to listening to them on the radio because that was the way really the only way to follow them from where we live, because we didn't get very many games.
Yeah. Guys, let's move on to a little bit more baseball news. I know Jay said he had something, but I've got one other thing here. Philadelphia Phillies pitcher Zach Wheeler. He's their ace, had a procedure to remove a blood clot in his right arm and was put on the 15-day disabled, 15-day injured list. That could be, this is the wrong time of year for that to be happening. And again, that's all the details I had. I mean, hopefully he can come back in 15 days, but and they didn't say exactly what the procedure. I'm sure it's some type of surgical procedure, but they didn't say surgery. They was careful not to say surgery. But that's not good news for Mr. Wheeler and for the Phillies.
Yeah, I know they put him on a 15-day IL. That just means he can't come back until 15 days. That's pretty much the minimum. Yeah. But with the blood clot, especially a surgical procedure, you don't know if clots could reform. I mean, there's no way to guarantee there's no way to estimate when he's going to come back, right? I mean, they're going to obviously have to do a couple of follow-up appointments, right? Spaced out over time. So I wouldn't be surprised, Chris. I wouldn't be surprised if you don't see that man back. Even at the earliest, I don't think you'd see him back until the playoffs. I would be if he comes back before playoffs, I would be shocked. Personally, I wouldn't be surprised if he's out all the way till next season, because blood clot, you can't play around with that kind of mess. That stuff dislodges, goes to your heart. You're dead. You die on the field. So you got to imagine that the protocol for him to come back, I mean, that's like the same with Wembanyama. And I forget, maybe it was Giannis that also had it. Remember when they had that deep vein thrombosis thing that they had up in their shoulder and he was out for the season? I kind of look at this like that almost. Like he could be out I would imagine he might even be out for the season. If he comes back, I would be shocked.
Well, that was the word that they used. It said blood clot, but also said thrombosis too. So, and the right arm. Well, one article said right arm, the other one said right upper extremities. I read two different articles.
Yeah.
Chris, your take.
I mean, I think he'll probably be back. It'll just be hard to say because they'll put him on probably some blood thinners and stuff and some medicine, try to get it until they get it under control where they feel like there's no more clots. They're not going to put him out there. So it's going. You just never know. He could be back in three weeks, or he could be back in 2 months. I mean, you just never know when it comes to stuff like that. I mean, we saw with Damian Lillard had them clots in his leg, and he was able to come back in like I think it was like a month and a half and play. But then we've seen guys that it takes a lot longer as well, like Jay was mentioning. So you just never know. But I think that he'll probably be back out there. But I mean, he could not as well. You just never know how it's going to heal up. I mean, hell, one of my best friends, that's how he passed away, was a blood clot from his leg to his heart. So, I mean, it's not something you can mess around with.
And it happened quick. It happened in a matter of hours.
I can imagine a doctor out there that would put his name on a clearance bill. He knew absolutely 100% sure that wasn't, because otherwise, I mean, if that dude was to die on the field or whatever, man, it'd be all over. For him in his career, it'd be all over.
Yeah. Jay, you said you had something else.
My friend, it happened with. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Chris.
No, I was just going to say when it happened with Eric, it was like you said, in just a couple hours, but it was also at the hospital. He got to the hospital, and then it went from his leg to his heart.
Yeah, I don't play around with those blood clots. That's just that and fat ambulize. And fat ambulize are nothing more than a blood clot, except instead of blood, it's fat. So you got fat clots. Yeah, I don't play around with any of that stuff, man. It's just too hard to predict. But I know them doctors are going to do what the right thing is. I would imagine so. But yeah, Xander Bogaerts. I don't know if y'all caught that with the Padres. He went up for the ball as it was leaving the field, and he caught it right at the wall. He caught it, but before he caught it, the fans went like this, like over the wall a little bit, like this, to where he couldn't see, and so he went into his glove, and then it came out of his glove. And I think ultimately they wound up giving him an out for the play because of the fan interference. But I don't know, man. It was weird. Like it was in his glove. Like he had full grasp of it, and it was almost like he released it, and then the ball popped out. It was really kind of hard when you try to slow it down. But what do you think about that? You know, if fans are doing that, even though they didn't touch the glove, they didn't do anything with the glove. They just put their hands like this over the white line, the ones in the front row, like this. And he claimed that he couldn't see the ball, and so that's what caused the ball. And then they ultimately gave him an out. But do you think it should be an out, or do you think it should be ruled in fair play?
That's tough because I didn't see it. I seen what happened earlier this year, and not only did the fan interfere, and they ended up getting they ruled it. I thought it should have been a home run, but they give the guy a double because the guy caught the ball. The guy came on the field and caught the ball. And they argued, and they got double. And that guy got ejected from the game. He got thrown out. It was I think it was an Arizona and a Dodger game or Arizona San Diego game. I was watching. Yeah, I don't know without seeing it. But yeah, they need to stay behind it. I mean, I understand, man. You're excited. You think you're going to get a ball, and I can understand you reaching over. But if you reach over that line, I think the other team's has got a gripe to a certain degree.
Yeah, I'll just say one quick thing about that. I just feel like, it's like if you sit in the front row, it's almost like you have a job or a duty not to go over that line, right? Because once you go over that line, you're not in your zone anymore. Now you're in the field of play, right? And so, and I see fans do that all the time. Obviously, you saw the one at Houston. They did it to somebody out there in Houston. I think it was the Yankees when they were here, but yeah, that's ridiculous. The fans got to do a better job. I know they want to be a part of the game like that, but come on, man.
Yep.
Also, what are you thinking?
I was trying to find a video of it because I hadn't seen it. For me to say whether I thought he should have been out or not, I had to see it. But I mean, yeah, fans have to. I mean, of course, you son of a mother. Hold on 1 second. Okay, caught it. That's close. I mean that's close. He didn't complete the catch. It was in the tip of his glove, and it came out and went over the wall. They first called. I guess they had first called it a home run, and they overturned it. The fans was right there over his glove, so I could see the interference.
Yeah.
I mean, I can understand that they didn't touch it. Oh, but so I mean, I would have. I mean, if I was the umpire, I'd probably have called fan interference as well. But yeah, you're right. As a fan, you got. I mean, that's something you kind of got to be. If you're sitting that close, you got to think of because you can. I mean, you can really cost your team if you're not playing that, and then you can also, like you said, get yourself kicked out or get yourself coming to games. Hell, last night during the Reds and Angels game, you had a fan jump over the fence and the outfield was running on the field. Last night, I think it was the 7th or 8th inning. Fucking Noel Marte's getting ready to come up the bat, and all of a sudden there's a fan running around the field. They had to get hurt, and Marte got the finishes of that bat. So I mean, yeah. So I mean, I don't know why you would do that because like now you're never going to another baseball game again. So
Yeah.
I just don't get it.
Okay, guys, let's move on. I got a little NFL news. The first one I seen I was watching a little bit of the Bengals game last night, and there was a report from a local station. They talked to Trey Hendrickson, and he said that him and the Bengals have agreed upon an average salary and the years, but the problem and the holdup is the guaranteed money. That they can't come to an agreement on the guaranteed money because he wants a certain amount of guaranteed money.
I guess
that's
way apart.
Yes, and that's the issue that's holding everything up. And so he could end up getting traded, or I guess a lot of people I've seen it on McAfee's show, which he's on vacation. A lot of people feel like that he won't play, that he's not going to give in. He is not going to play. Don't sit out. Some people say he might retire, but that'd be crazy. Correct.
Yeah, my bad, man. I was trying to find this thing. I forgot I was muted. You know what? That didn't fine because you know what? I mean, Jay didn't interfere, and Chris ain't blowing a blood vessel, so I guess we're doing good. hey, sometimes you got to know when to take those wins, Tony. You got to know when to take those damn wins.
I know when to hold them, know when to fold.
Man, I'm telling you, I have held them for far too many times. But no, it depends on, I'd be curious to know how much guaranteed money was he offered?
I haven't heard that. He did not.
I'm sorry. I'd be curious to see how much money he was offered because I'm curious to know what the contract was. I mean, if he's turning down the guaranteed money, I get it because again, if you get hurt, you can have the biggest contract in the world, but if your guarantee isn't nowhere near what you're looking for or in the ballpark, what would be compensable if you get, I don't know, a season-ending injury or a career-ending injury to where you can't ever get another contract. I understand where he's coming from. I understand his viewpoint on that. I just would be curious to know how much money he turned down or is arguing about.
Yeah, because like I said, the average salary they're good with, the amount of years they're good with, it's just the guaranteed money. So I don't know, because like I said, they didn't give a. I mean, I'm sure it's got to be what some of the other guys got. I mean, I would think in that ballpark. So I don't know why Cincinnati would be shocked by that, and why they wouldn't be willing to at least get a lot closer than what they are if they're really that far apart. Chris, what do you think?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens because I honestly think he might sit this season out, and then he could retire, or because I agree with what Anthony's saying. It's going to be hard for the Bengals to trade him because the Bengals are going to ask for so much that nobody's going to do it. So I don't see a trade happening, especially this late in the season. It's going to be even harder to get, or late in the off season. It's going not season off season. It's going to be it's going to be hard to get something done this season because a lot of teams don't have money. Because you're going Anthony was saying in this last comment, you're going to have to sign him to an extension. Plus, you're going to give up picks and players or whatever else to get him. So so it's not going to be easy for a trade to get worked out, especially during this offseason. So I'm kind of leaning toward that. I think either they get something figured out or he sits out is what I think.
Let's see if I can bring this in real quick. Oh damn, I'm fucking up.
While he's doing that, Chris, what are you thinking about Indiana Jones?
There we go.
Starting quarterback, Indianapolis Colts.
It didn't surprise me. Actually, I think it might have been yesterday on the show, but I know Saturday Saturday evening I was asked who I thought was going to be the Colts starting quarterback, Richardson or Jones. And I said I thought it was going to be Jones, and I thought that he was going to announce it on Tuesday. And the reason I thought he was going to announce it on Tuesday the reason I thought that was I listened to quite a bit of the preseason game Saturday against the Packers, Colts and Packers on the radio. And then after the game, I caught the Shane Steichen press conference, and he said he was real close to making his decision. And just from hearing him talk, and then I knew that today was his regular press day. So I figured he would announce it today because usually whoever your starting quarterback's going to be usually don't play much your last preseason game. So I figured he was going to want to announce it before our last preseason game Saturday because now Richardson's probably going to play most of that game instead of Jones. You know what I mean? Because usually you don't play many of your starters that last preseason game. So that's why there was already regular press day, so I figured to get announced today. But from the reports from the stuff I've been reading and like hearing on, like even during that broadcast, hearing like some of the radio guys that have access to the locker room and some of the players that have had some of the retired players have had access and have seen some of the stuff. Just listening to them talk, it felt like to me that Steichen was leaning toward Jones. So that's what I figured was going to happen. And I thought it would happen today. I don't think either one of them I don't know if either one of them are the future of the Colts. I think Jones is the better quarterback right now. Gives the team the best chance to win right now. I know some people are upset. You have to give Richardson longer. You gave him 2 years. He ain't been able to stay healthy, and he has been healthy. He's completing 40% of his passes. I mean, you can't say they didn't give him a fair chance. Hell, he got hurt in the preseason this year too. I know it was just a dislocated finger, but from what it sounded like, the team in the locker room wasn't shocked. So that tells me that it probably wasn't as close as some people think, because if the locker room and most of the people that have access to the locker, they weren't shocked that when this decision came out. That means it must have been it was clear, you know what I mean? And usually the locker, like you hear players talk, the locker room usually has a feel like they know who the starter should be and who it's going to be. And so for none of the players being shocked, and just from the only people you hear really being shocked are some of the fan base, which, I mean, if you've been paying attention, you shouldn't be shocked about it. They said it was going to be a quarterback competition, and it was, and it kind of worked out how I thought it was when they brought him in. I thought there was a good chance he was going to beat Richardson out, I think a little bit to do with it is Steichen and Ballard, the GM, like they know their job's on the line. Like Jim's not around no more. You got new people in charge. His daughters are in charge now, so you don't know if you have that leeway you used to have. And then Ballard's for a while, Steichen not as long, but Ballard's been there for a while, and haven't had a lot of playoff success. So like if you are 8-9 win year like you did last year, and you throw Richardson out there like you did last year, and you have the same kind of season, and things go off rails like it did last season, Steichen and Ballard might be out the door. So I think that played in to their decision as well. I think
Yeah, I agree.
Daniel Jones is right now he can process the defense faster than Anthony Richardson, and I think that's the big reason why Daniel Jones is the starting quarterback over Richardson is because Steichen feels like he can operate the offense and get people in the right places faster and more consistent than what Anthony Richardson can at this time.
I agree. I agree with you, Chris. I think and what killed me is some of that same fan base that was yelling wanted Richardson gone. There's some of them that now are bitching. So I think some of them just want to bitch to bitch. So that's all I got to say on it. Jay?
Yeah. So in terms of Jones, Daniel Jones, I really agree with Chris. I feel like, they brought in Daniel Jones because they were pretty much, for the most part, getting very close to being done with Anthony Richardson. But before they were done with him, they wanted to see what else they could bring in to basically see. Number one, I think for a couple of reasons. One, to see if it was spark Richardson, to see if Richardson was really taking it seriously and really hard to compete. I think number two, because quarterback competition always brings out the best. I don't care what anybody says. And I think that's what they wanted. They wanted to see what Anthony Richardson had going up against somebody else. They brought in Daniel Jones, because probably all that was really available out there that was somewhat quality, right, to bring in to compete up against Anthony Richardson. But I think that's exactly what they did. And I think they realized when they brought him in that Anthony Richardson, it was his job to win. It was, I mean, he had all the weight. I think Daniel Jones, all he had to do was come in, showcase what he could do, not go out and do too much, just complete your passes, get off the field, whatever. I think Anthony Richardson, it was really his case to plead to try to get that job back. Like, hey, number one, I can stay on the field. Number two, I can complete the passes. Number three, I can complete the reads. I'm doing all my homework. I'm improving my football IQ. I'm doing this, and this. It was his job to show them, and not so much Daniel Jones. All Daniel Jones had to do is come in, don't screw it up, complete your passes, be a game manager, and the job is yours. Because Anthony Richardson wasn't going to be able to do that. And so, yeah, I think it's absolutely. I was really leaning towards it being Daniel Jones's team, based off of the track record of what we've seen from Anthony Richards up till now. And I think that's why Daniel Jones got the job. Not to say AR is done, but he's going to have to really figure himself out. I think he'll always have a job as a backup or whatever. But if he ever wants to take that next step and be an actual starter in the league, yeah, he's going to have to figure something out over there. Real quick, I just wanted to show you this real quick, Tony. This is what we were talking about a minute ago, just so you can kind of see what it was. Here you go. Yeah. So that's kind of, for the most part, that's really what it was. They're trying to say that they didn't interfere, but you can see their hands above the glove. So even though their hands were about a foot or two above his glove, they still blocked his field of view, being able to see the ball into the glove. And so I think that's what they were really calling.
I personally don't think it blocked the view, but I understand the call, and I think I agree with the call. Of course, looking from that angle, it's kind of hard to tell if they really blocked his view, but their hands were out there in the way. So I have no problem with the call.
I don't have a problem.
I think
with
for
it.
me,
I've seen it called like that before. Like if that had been the first,
right.
Like if I wanted to see, I've seen similar that be called. So it's not like it was out of the ordinary. That's already, because I don't know. I don't think they interfered a lot, but you're over the line. You're right there. I mean, you would be getting in. Even if they're not blocking your view, their hands are getting in your peripherals. And that's going to that's going to affect have an effect on you. So, yeah, I don't have a big problem with it.
Yeah, I just have the notion of, look, where your space stops, and where field of play is. What the rules are. We all know what the rules are. When that ball's coming in, you're doing this. You're trying to block his ability to be able to see the ball. That's just the way I see it. And again, I that one even out there with the Astros, I don't like any fan interference. I'm like, look, A game is a game. And you got to think, too, people got money on these games. Think about the bettors and stuff. They got money on these games. I'm not saying that the Padres, that one specific catch was going to be a difference maker. I don't know. But when people got money on stuff, like if you're betting on stuff,
Well, not just that, Jay. Wait a minute.
you know,
Not just that, Jay. You can bet for a guy to hit a home run.
yeah. I mean, there's so many bets you can make, right?
You don't just bet on the games anymore, like the winners anymore. Like you can pick a guy, like somebody probably pick Bogarts to hit a home run, or you can pick like whoever you want to hit a home run that game. So I'm sure there was people that had money for him to hit a home run. That
that could have cost the Padres the game.
Yeah, it could have cost
Giants
them the game too.
Well, Giants won, so I mean, the Padres want to hit that. If it goes out, if they don't interfere, and if he don't catch it, and it would have been a home run right there's at least a tie game. I don't know if anybody on base. I mean, that was a big play.
I definitely think that there was an impact off of that play. And like I said, Gonzo, like I know, man, if you got money riding on something and something like that happens, I mean, it's just not good all the way around. I mean, I just think, and nobody wants to see a net or a barricade or whatever. And nobody wants to see that mess, right? So fans just got to do the right thing and just leave it alone. But anyway, I just wanted to show you all that so you have a better idea, Tony, of what we were talking about.
Okay.
But in terms of Daniel Jones, hey, I think you never know. Daniel Jones there's no telling what he can do. I mean, in all honesty, I don't think he's a bad quarterback. I think he just had a bad rap out there in New York Giants because the team just wasn't good all the way around. I mean, he really didn't have a whole lot to work with. I mean, he had Saquon. I'm not going to act like he didn't have Saquon, but let's not act like he had like the best wide receivers or offensive line,
Yeah.
Hopefully with you guys, now he has a running back in Jonathan Taylor. He's got some decent wideouts. He's got a good tight end. Pretty good O-line. Let's see what the man can do. He might be the next Sam Darnold out there in Minnesota or Geno Smith in Seattle. You never know.
That's what I'm hoping for.
Even Baker Mayfield in Tampa.
Yeah. Sometimes you get the right place and the right coaches, things can change. That's definitely what me and Chris is hoping for. Well, way I look at it, can't get a whole lot worse. So than what it's been. Okay, guys, I'm ready. Are you guys ready to go in the hot seat?
Yeah, my nuts have been warm all day. Let's go.
Oh, okay. Okay, guys. First question is, it's baseball. As of right now, who do you have in the World Series? Chris? What do you think, Chris?
Ooh, as of right now, I'm gonna go Brewers. I'm gonna stick with the Tigers. I've been on the Tigers all year. Original prediction at the beginning of the season was Phillies and Tigers.
Yep.
I still think the Phillies can make it, but the Brewers have been impressive. So it's hard for me to pick against the Brewers as of right this second. So as of right this second, I'm gonna say Brewers and Tigers.
That's where I was going to go, Brewers and Tigers. Joe? Jay.
I know.
Hey, they're basically the same person. They're basically the same person. So,
Astro fan, Cowboy fan, what the hell.
One lives here, one lives in Italy. It's always
you know what white people look alike. Even sometimes the Italians. God bless them. God bless them. Yeah. Here's my thing. I think definitely. I can't get that out of my mind now. I think the Brewers definitely are gonna be there. I mean, I don't think just because that winning streak came to an end. I mean, that's still a red hot team. I mean, we saw against last night with the Cubs. So I definitely think unless injuries or something crazy happens to that Brewers team, I got to imagine the Brewers are going to be there. It really comes down to the AL side to me where it gets a little bit trickier because Vladimir Guerrero, as you guys know, was doing the split at first base, trying to get the ball to get the guy out, and he jacked up his groin. They're doing MRIs on him. Nobody knows the extent of the injury. So because I don't know the extent of the injury, and I know how groins can keep you out for a little bit of time to rehab and do what you got to do, I'm gonna lean towards. I think that just makes my decision a little bit easier to lean towards the Tigers. The Tigers are heating up. We all know how hard they are right now. Cue ball, whatever his name is. I mean, he's just phenomenal. I'm really looking forward to that game tonight because I get to see what he does against Hunter Brown. So he's going to have another tough pitcher to go up against tonight. So I'm going to see what he does against that. But ultimately, that Tigers team and A.J. Hinch, I mean, the guy is just a hell of a man. I don't care what anybody says about 2017, my ass, whatever. You can say whatever you want about it. But that dude is a good manager. No doubt about it. Good manager. And I think he's definitely better than anything that's on that side of the fence or that side of the league. I hate to say it, and I wish I had that guy back. I really do. Nothing. Hey, Espada, you're doing a great job. Don't take it the wrong way, guy. But if I could have A.J. Hinch back tomorrow, I would do it in a heartbeat. With that being said, that's a long way of saying Brewers and Tigers, who I'm seeing right now.
Next question, college football. Who goes further, Ohio State, Texas, Penn State, Georgia, or Notre Dame? Jay.
I'm going to go Texas. I'm sorry, you said Jay, right? I don't know if you said my name first or not.
Yeah, I said Jay.
Oh, okay, I apologize. Just want to make sure. I definitely think Texas, man. I know exactly what I have in Arch Manning for the most part. He won every single game that he started in the SEC, and I know people are going to be out there saying, "Well, they didn't." He played Mississippi State and a couple other, regular teams, whatever. Like he was playing ranked teams. I get that. I totally get that argument, but I also understand that you're in the SEC and there's a lot of pressure being in the SEC, and you still got to go out there and perform. You still got to go out there and execute plays. You still got to be able to read defenses and things like that. And he won, and he did it. I think he had 939 yards, and I think it was like two interceptions and 10 touchdowns, something like that. I mean, he actually went out there and played very, very well. I think you've already seen what Arch Manning can do. I don't think he's a fluke. Now, yes, he has to go against Georgia. He has to go against Ohio. He has to go against all the big teams and get that recognition. I understand that as well. I'm not trying to make that argument either. The argument I'm making is I know what I have potentially in him. I don't know that you can say the same thing for Saman or Sayin or however you say that guy's last name. He's had 24 snaps and 4 games. There's not enough sample size on that guy to know really what you have in him. I understand he's number 9 recruit and a top 300, this, that, and the other. I get all that, but that doesn't mean crap until I see it on the field and I see it against big time competition. And for that reason, because I know what I have in him, and I know that Texas has another great recruiting class, and they didn't really drop off. They still have every bit of that team that was last year, but I think they get a better quarterback. And for that reason, I understand it's in Ohio. I understand they're the underdogs. But I'm taking Texas, and I think that first game is going to be the solidification. If Texas goes in there and beats on Ohio State handily, then I think a lot of people are going to be, oh, damn, okay. If they just kind of moderately beat them, there's still going to be some. Well, they did play Ohio in Ohio, so you got to give them that credit. So a lot of his credit really comes down on week 1. Not to say that's going to determine the length of the season, but that first game is going to tell you who Arch Manning really is, and that's going to be a lot. But I do expect Texas. I'm riding Texas this year. I felt like this was their year. I felt like last year was their year. And I understand that Penn State, and a lot of people are going to make the argument for Penn State. Like you said, everybody's back. Nobody left, really. So it's the same Penn State from last year, all the continuity, this, that, and the other. And that's a great argument. And I'm not even going to try to argue that. But the short answer for me is Texas.
Yeah, Joe, you just said it. I'm going with Penn State. Got 14 starters back. That's who I'm going to go with. I'm going with Penn State. Chris?
Yeah, I'm going Penn State. I think Ohio State's going to be real good. I think Texas is going to be real good. But Penn State has as of right now, they have the number 1 rated quarterback coming out in next year's draft in Allard. And I've watched a lot of Penn State the last 2 seasons because of the Big Ten. And if you've watched Penn State and saw the jump that kid had made from his first year to last year was amazing. I think he's going to make it even another from last season to this season as well. So I'm a Penn State team. I think is going to be really good this year. They were real close last year to going farther last year than what they did. I mean, it wasn't like they got blown out. But yeah, I think this is the year that James Franklin gets his signature win. So I'm going to go with Penn State.
All right, guys.
One note, though, on that real quick is that Penn State only missed being named the number 1 team over Texas by 7 points. So it's a very narrow of a margin. So I agree with what you're saying.
Yep. Okay, number 3. This is just kind of a question. It's not. It could go any sports. Your opinion: who is the greatest sports franchise of all time? Chris.
Whew.
That's interesting. Especially try to come up off the top of my head. Man, I would probably have to say either. To me, it comes down to probably the New York Yankees, 2 teams I hate to say, or the Dallas Cowboys. Because if you go by like making money,
Yeah.
and you go by like their popularity and transcending their sport, like even people that are not football fans, never watched football a day in their life, they know about the Cowboys. Same thing with the Yankees. People never watch baseball a day in their life, or aren't Yankees fans, but will be walking around with a New York Yankees hat on because that was the style. So I would say it'd have to be either the Cowboys or the Yankees, even though it pains me to say that because it's 2 of the franchises I dislike the most. But I'd have to say that you'd have to have them right up there as the best.
I'm going with the Boston Celtics.
Yeah.
I'm not looking at money necessarily. I'm going with the Boston Celtics. That's who stood out to me. Jay?
Yeah, I just had to respond to Chris real quick about his hatred for the Cowboys and the Yankees. But I don't want to do it in my voice, if it's okay. I don't want to do it in my voice because my voice would be irritating. What I would like to do is I'd like to do it in General Palpatine's voice, if I may. Good. Let that anger flow within you. Let it flow.
Hey, I gave you guys credit.
I know, but it just has a better effect if I do it in General Palpatine's voice. Anywho, back to my normal voice, who was still very irritating. Ask my wife, she'll tell you. But no, Chris, I'm right there with you, man. When it depends on how you look at it, right? If you look at it from a fame standpoint, a recognition standpoint, a net worth standpoint, then it's going to be Dallas Cowboys because they're worth $12.6 billion. I mean, and I'm only speaking at the economic and famous level. Then I would put the Yankees are right after that, and then so forth. If you want to look at it from a title standpoint, then it's the Yankees, hands down, bar none. Right, 27 damn titles is a lot.
Yeah.
But also, I almost think that's comparable to even the New England Patriots with 7 Super Bowls. Yeah. I mean, excuse me, 6 Super Bowls. With 6 Super Bowls, I mean that's a lot in that short a period of time, right? But their net worth isn't worth a damn. I was looking at their net worth the other day; it's like 7.6 billion, which is a far cry different than what the Cowboys are, even with their 5 titles. So
wish my net worth was 7.6 billion.
I know, right? Damn, I mean, damn, I wish I was too. But no, so if economics,
they're only worth $1 billion.
I know. Hey, trust. No, but I think if it's economics, it's the Cowboys, and if it's titles, then it's the Yankees. I'll tell you this, though. I think the Yankees and the Cowboys have a lot of similarities in terms of the fact that they both spend money, but they don't get a whole lot in the rate of return. And I'm talking like here in the present, not the past. I mean, because
you know what else?
Yeah.
You know how else they're similar? They're both family ran.
Yeah, God, how long has Steinbrenner's been there for? It seems like he's been there forever. I mean, like forever. And Jerry Jones, I know he
went from the dad to the son. Went from the dad to the son. It's going to do the same thing in Dallas.
Unfortunately. I mean, yeah. I mean, I just want to say one last thing. I just feel like, and I tell Frankie all the time. I say, man, look, man, Cowboys at 30 years, and the Yankees right now are at like 15 years. They're like half. I told Frank, I said, you're halfway to where I'm at. Let that sink in for a minute, guy.
Okay, guys.
Yeah.
Next up, who had the biggest impact for the Cowboys? Michael Irvin or Emmitt Smith? Jay?
Oh, Emmett. Michael. Damn. I don't know. Michael was a leader. That's one thing I like about Michael Irvin. Michael Irvin was a leader. I mean, he was a physical leader on that team. God, man, that's a damn hard one. I'm just gonna say because how hard it is to run the ball and from a running back standpoint, the injuries you got to deal with and all that craziness. I'm gonna go Emmitt Smith because the longevity that he did, and he did it, and he really didn't have too many injuries. So, but I will tell you this: nobody snorts cocaine better than Michael Irvin.
I'm going with Emmett too because I think it helped set up the passing game because they could run the ball. That's why I would think. Chris?
Emmitt Smith, easy.
Okay.
Because of what you just said. The Cowboys, and I know they had Troy Aikman, but if you went back and look at that period when they were winning them Super Bowls, they were a run first team. They wanted to run the ball. They ran the ball to set up, throwing the ball to Michael Irvin and them guys. So to me, Emmitt Smith was the straw that stirred the drink. So he was a lot more important than Michael Irvin.
I'll tell you what, though, what really made that damn team was that offensive line that they had.
Yeah.
Because they would open up freeways sometimes for Emmett, and they would pass protect the hell out of it to get the ball to Michael. So I mean, as much as I love Emmett, I mean, damn, that offensive line, I cannot praise that offensive line enough, honestly, during that time period.
Okay, guys, got one last question. Your favorite sports memories? Chris, give a couple.
Favorite sports memories? Watching Reds win the World Series in '90. Watching the Colts win the Super Bowl in '06. There's a couple other ones. Watching Tiger Woods win the Masters. I think it was 2019. I think that was
that was the last time he won that thing. Yeah,
it was the last time he won it. Watching, I stood at my house in front of the TV all day on Sunday, watching the Masters. Like I won't ever forget that. And then a couple of them, like the comebacks that the Colts made that we talked about yesterday in the AFC Championship game. But and then them are the ones that pop off. I don't know off the top of my head that pop up. I probably could think of a couple more.
For me, 75 Reds winning the series. Of course, 76 because I got to go to a game. So the 90. So those three championships for the Reds. Also the Colts championship. Also, I was pretty happy when Peyton got another championship with Denver. I liked it. Some Olympic memories too. That there's been a bunch of them. Some of the gymnastics and some big performances in wrestling and boxing and different things to stand out to me because I'm a big Olympic guy. I really enjoy the Olympics.
I was getting ready to say I had two more real quick, and one of them was watching Rulon Gardner beat the Krillin or whatever from Russia that hadn't been beaten like 30 years to win the gold medal, and then one of my other favorite sports moments was going to the Hoosier Dome and watching the 2000 wrestling Olympic trials. To get to watch the Olympic trials, watch them guys try to make the Olympic team. That was one of the coolest things I'd ever been to. And I got to meet Dan Gable, who's might be one of the best wrestlers ever. Between him and Carol Sanders.
Real quick, sports and entertainment, and you was there too, Chris. Getting to go that Royal Rumble was WWE Royal Rumble was crazy too. So,
but going to the Olympic trials and getting to see that many like the best of the best compete against each other for 10 spots, it was pretty awesome.
Okay, Jay.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot for me, really. You can go to the Astros in 2022. That was probably one of my favorite moments because of the fact that, the Astros were coming off of the 17 and nobody would let it go. And we had no credibility and this, that, and the other. And then watching them come back and not only get the win in the World Series, but the way in which they did it. They were down 2. They get Michael Brantley gives them the famous speech in the locker room, and they go on a holy tear and come back and win the series. And then when Alvarez hit that home run that sealed it up and it bounced off the wall, and Philly Sports Guy was out there walking the halls of at that time Minute Maid Park, having to congratulate all the Astros fans. Nothing sweets better than the revenge. That's the best form of success. The second best memory outside of that was right before that when we played the Yankees in the regular season, and the Yankees were hot, and then they met us the week that we had that series with the Yankees that led up to the All-Star game. We kicked the crap out of them. I think we won 2 out of 3. Then we had the All-Star break. Then we come out of the All-Star break to play the Yankees in a double hitter and won both of those games. And we just smacked Frankie around like a little rag doll. I loved it because you know why? Frankie could not say nothing for a good 2-week period about the Yankees. And that's and 2 weeks of silence from Frankie is golden when it comes to being badgered about sports.
Hey guys, I gotta go.
I will say this. I want to say this real quick. My last.
I gotta go, guys.
Oh, you gotta go. All right. Hey, love you, man. Now let me say this one last thing. And we'll get out of here real quick. Chris, my favorite window of all time was because they don't do it anymore. Was watching Nolan Ryan beat the crap out of Ventura on the mound after Ventura stormed it like he was going to do some damage, and then Nolan Ryan puts him in a headlock and just says, "Take this, biatch." Because you don't see pitches like that anymore. Nowadays, it's like, nah, I'm not going to rush the mound. No.
I saw Amir Garrett try to spike a guy with his cleats.
Oh, yeah. Bro, they didn't play around back then. It ain't like it is these days. You know?
All right.
It's not. But
Oh. Well, yeah. Jay, you got anything else before we get out of here? Shit.
Hey, before we put you on the COPD medication, I'm just going to say real quick, thank you, Joe, and thank you, Frankie, and everybody, and Anthony for chiming in, man. We appreciate the comments. Also, if you like today's comment, don't forget to go to Gonzo's Sports Room on his YouTube and give him a subscribe. I'm sure he'll appreciate you. And then while you're over there, if you go over to ESCN and give us a little subscribe over there too, all of us will appreciate you. Until next time, it's your boy.